What's up, guys? So the market's closed, and I want to go over the day and make you understand what my thought process is when I'm trading. And it's important that you also have a structure to your trade. So I want to tell you exactly why I say that. Like this morning, we had pointed out that Tesla was actually bullish, and we had to take a deeper look to see if there was an opportunity there. So I'm gonna pull up my Thinkorswim platform here, and I'm gonna pull up my charts. And we're gonna start off by looking at SPY, right? So SPY is still holding the uptrend here, and we want to see price action like this. So we have 1 day of red, right? And if we look at the daily chart here, So there's two things going on here. On Friday we had a bullish reversal, and we have this uptrend here, right? So what I want to point out to you is, aside from this price action here, you can see that the 50 period moving average is right here. So although we had a red day, we reclaimed the 50 period moving average. You see, that's the deception that you need to pay attention to, right? So now if you go into the hour chart, if you go into the hourly chart here, you see that we had this downtrend, and now we're going sideways. So this is what this box indicates, is the sideways action. So it came down out of this sideways action, and then it reclaimed, right? So we want to see a break above this box here, right? So we want to see this hold, kind of held right here. But if we break below this 396 area, 397 area, we can come down to here, right? So if we break above here, then we will know that SPY is actually getting bullish. If we have a higher high and a higher low tomorrow on the daily chart, then that would help the argument that the weekly is going to turn green, right? And if it turns green, then we're going up again. And if we break below this trend here, then it'll be our first break of the 2023 uptrend, right? So we only have 1 month of bearish action compared to all of these weeks of uptrend. So SPY is still bullish because we are now in this uptrend, and we can reclaim and finish the week green. And we have the 50 period moving average here, a bullish reversal right here with this candle. And today we had one red day. Okay, but it's important to identify that it's one red day, but we also broke out of this downtrend here on the daily chart, right? So now we're looking for SPY to go sideways and then break above for the next move up, right? So we had talked about also Tesla this morning, right? And what I said about Tesla was that if we looked at the weekly chart, we have all this buying, and then we have one red candle. But this red candle is actually neutral because we don't have a higher high or a lower low. So we don't have either. So that means that this candle is neutral. Now we have one green candle for the 1 day that was buying, right? So what I said was that when we're going sideways like this, it's important that you recognize it so that you can trade accordingly. So there's two things you can do. And those two things is not take swing trades because we don't have a clear direction. And the second thing is you can lower your capital so you're not trading full money. Because if it's not a clear direction, why would you trade full money? And also, this is not a condition for you to swing in because we're going sideways and we're not making higher highs and higher lows, right? So the last candle that we had here on the daily was this bullish reversal at the bottom of this range. So I thought that it was a great idea, if we saw a bullish price action, which we did, to take a short-term trade to the upside. Because we have all this room inside of the range. But that's only for short-term trades. That's not for swings. I would preferably only do it for day trades. Now, if you took a day trade and you're already up and you're willing to risk those losses for a move to the top of the range, then that's your preference. But I would tell anyone that I'm working with that it's preferable to take short-term trades and not trade for swings during a range. You want to see a break above the area of sideways action. So for you to swing Tesla, you want to see it above this 217 area. As of right now, it was great for a day trade. If we zoom in here in the smaller time frame, you can see all the moving averages are in order, and you could have dropped down to a 5 or 15-minute time frame and find an entry and take this bullish price action to the upside, right? So aside from these ideas that we went over this morning, now it's time to see how did the day finish in the market, right? So we want to bring in FinViz, which is a free platform that you can use, a free software you can use to determine. So only short-term trades. So when you go into your FinViz here and you go into your groups to see what was the strongest. So we see that selling is the strongest for the last month and the last week. Today we had a green day, more buying than selling, right? So we want to take a look at these stocks that have been selling for a month, week, and then buying for a day. So if it's been selling for 1 month, 1 week, and then you have 1 day of buying, then that means that it's possibly coming down for months, weeks, and then we have 1 day of buying, which could be setting up for the next move down, right? So if we take a look at consumer cyclical here that had the most buying, we're going to go to volume, and we're going to put it in descending order so that we can get the ones with the most volume, meaning the ones that have the most traded shares, meaning the ones with the most attention and the most money being allocated towards it or away from it, right? More buying and selling than anything else. So in this list, we have MULN, Tesla, BBBY, F, and we want to go into the TA sector here. So what FinViz does, it can basically do the technical analysis for you, and you can see what's going on. So right here, you see that we have this downtrend. MULN is fighting up against this downtrend. So this is not bullish. We had 1 day of buying. That's not bullish, right? Now here in Tesla, this is an exception. We have this downtrend here, and now we see that we're going up and we're going sideways. So that means that if we break above this 217, 220 area, we're going to see the next move up, right? Until maybe this resistance here, which is 240. So from 220 to 240, right? But we have to see it break out of this box. So if we go back to Tesla, the same box that I was telling you about, the box is really just indicating sideways action. So we're going to put up Tesla here. We have this neutral candle and we want to see a break above. And then on the daily chart, we have this up and then sideways, right? And today was great for day trading on Tesla because we had this little downtrend here inside of the range and then a break during pre-market, and then we had finishing the bull run up, okay? So you see that we gapped up overnight, and we want to see if we're going to continue, maybe a little pullback, a lower opening for tomorrow, and then a push up to the top of this range. But what I really want to see is the push up on top of 217, 218. And I'm going to keep reiterating that because this is a really good setup here for a bullish move, if we are bullish. But remember, we have a month of selling and a week of selling. So we want to go back into the TA and see what other stocks are possibly coming down, pushing up, and setting up for the next move down, right? More about price action and how to trade the market, how to analyze it. You can write a comment for any tickers you want me to look at, or you can hit me up and we can talk about ways for you to learn structure and foundation to your trading.